Your silence resonates through the universe with a power that transcends anything words could ever convey. Even though you have chosen distance, even though you have withdrawn from the chaos and stepped into your own sanctuary of peace, your energy continues to ripple through their consciousness like waves against an endless shore. They feel you in the quiet moments, in the spaces between heartbeats, in the stillness of the night when all pretense falls away. Your presence lingers in their soul like a whisper carried on the wind, soft yet impossible to ignore, gentle yet profoundly transformative. It is within this profound stillness, within this sacred space between what was and what will be, that realization has begun to bloom within them like a flower opening its petals to the morning sun. The quiet you left behind has become far more than mere absence. It has transformed into a mirror, a reflection so clear and honest that they cannot help but see themselves within it. This mirror forces them to confront everything they once dismissed, everything they once ignored, everything they took for granted when your love surrounded them like air they breathed without thinking. While you have deliberately chosen peace over turmoil, while you have selected serenity over suffering, while you have honored your own worth by walking away from what no longer served your highest good, your silence carries within it a message so profound, so deeply spiritual, that it has begun to stir transformation in the very depths of their being. This is not the silence of emptiness or abandonment. This is the silence of wisdom, the silence of divine timing, the silence that speaks volumes to those willing to truly listen with the ears of their soul. Behind the scenes of both your lives, massive changes are unfolding like a sacred tapestry being woven by invisible hands. In your world, you continue to evolve and expand, stepping more fully into your power with each passing day. In their world, old structures are crumbling, outdated patterns are dissolving, and new awareness is emerging from the rubble of what once was. The universe itself is orchestrating this divine choreography, preparing to bring the two of you into union once again. But this time, the union will be different. This time, it will be built on a foundation of mutual growth, spiritual alignment, and the kind of authentic love that can only exist between two souls who have each done their inner work. This journey has been anything but simple. It has demanded every ounce of courage you possess, every measure of faith you could summon, and every fragment of trust you could place in the divine plan unfolding around you. Yet it has been absolutely necessary. This has been a sacred unfolding, a spiritual initiation that has required both of you to grow beyond who you were, to heal wounds you didn't even know existed, and to surrender to the divine timing that governs all things meant to be. When you made the decision to walk away, it was not born from a place of weakness or defeat. It was not an act of giving up or surrendering to despair. Rather, it was one of the most powerful demonstrations of self-respect and self-preservation you could have offered yourself. It took tremendous courage to choose your own peace over a connection that had grown stagnant, to honor your own worth when it wasn't being honored by another, to release what was familiar yet unfulfilling in order to make space for something greater. Your departure from their life created a powerful ripple effect, a wave of consequence that pushed them directly into a period of intense emotional turbulence and deep introspection. They have been forced to face nights filled with confusion, mornings heavy with loneliness, and countless moments where they could no longer avoid sitting with the consequences of their own choices. They have had to look into the mirror of their own behavior and truly see what they had lost, what they had failed to appreciate, what they had allowed to slip through their fingers while they were too blind or too scared to hold on properly. It was during this profound solitude, during these dark nights of the soul, that they began the painful yet necessary process of healing and awakening. What initially felt like devastating loss has gradually transformed into powerful revelation. They are finally beginning to understand what you truly meant to them, the depth of the gift you offered, the rarity of the love you gave so freely. This understanding did not come easily or quickly. It was born from the sharp pain of your absence, forged in the fires of regret, and solidified through the relentless ache of missing someone who had become an essential part of their existence. They watched as you made the brave decision to step away from the chaos, choosing your own inner peace over a connection that had ceased to nourish you the way love should. You took that first courageous step forward, even when it meant walking that path completely alone, even when fear whispered that you might be making a mistake, even when your heart ached with the weight of what you were releasing. That single decision became the catalyst that finally shook them from their slumber, that jarred them awake from the comfortable complacency they had been living in. Your courage has become their mirror, reflecting back to them what true strength actually looks like in its most authentic form. Though it hurt them deeply to watch you walk away, though it shattered something within them to realize they could not stop you, it showed them a truth they can no longer deny, a truth that has become impossible to ignore. You were the anchor all along. You were the steady presence, the unwavering force, the consistent source of love and stability that held things together even when everything else was falling apart. Throughout this entire period of separation, you have remained remarkably grounded, unwaveringly loyal to yourself, and completely authentic in your expression. No matter how intense the pain became, no matter how difficult the distance felt, no matter how many moments you questioned whether you had made the right choice, you never lost yourself in the process. You never compromised your values, never abandoned your principles, never betrayed your own truth for the sake of maintaining a connection that no longer served your highest good. Instead of diminishing, you have actually become even more aligned with your higher self during this time apart. Your energy now radiates a quality of integrity and wisdom that can only be gained through the crucible of heartbreak and the transformative power of genuine healing. You have shown them through your example what grace looks like when applied under pressure, what unconditional love looks like in its purest and most selfless form, what it means to love someone enough to release them so they can grow. Your stability, your groundedness, your unwavering commitment to your own truth has become their source of inspiration. It has revealed to them the profound depth of your spirit, the magnificent magnitude of your soul, the rare and precious nature of the love you carry within you. They now see with crystal clarity the true beauty of your strength, and this recognition has fundamentally changed the way they view not just you, but love itself. They are beginning to understand that real love is not about possession or control, but about respect, appreciation, and the willingness to meet someone at the level of consciousness they embody. Your person remains deeply and madly in love with you. That feeling has not diminished with time or distance. In fact, it has intensified beyond what they ever thought possible. Time and space have not eroded their emotions but rather have deepened them, purified them, and made them more authentic. They are actively working to close out old cycles that no longer serve them, releasing toxic patterns that have held them captive, and consciously letting go of the version of themselves that once held this sacred connection back from reaching its full potential. They are diligently preparing themselves for a new beginning, one that feels balanced and mature, one that is aligned with who you both are becoming rather than who you once were. The tables have turned in ways that neither of you could have predicted when this journey first began. Where once they were hesitant, uncertain, or confused about what they wanted, now they stand in absolute certainty about what truly matters. Where once you carried the emotional weight of this entire connection on your shoulders, bearing the burden of hope for both of you, now they are finally ready and willing to meet you halfway, to carry their fair share of the responsibility for creating something beautiful together. Your energy has left an indelible imprint upon their consciousness, an impression so deep and lasting that it cannot be erased or forgotten. No matter what they do to distract themselves, no matter how they attempt to move forward into new experiences, no matter how hard they try to forget, your essence continues to linger in their mind and permeate their heart. They see you as someone who is truly self-made, someone who built themselves from the ground up through sheer determination and inner strength, someone who took their pain and transformed it into power, someone who took endings and used them as beginnings for something even more magnificent. Your personal transformation has left them in a state of genuine awe and admiration. They can hardly believe how much you have grown during this time apart, how remarkably independent you have become, how beautifully radiant your energy has transformed into. You have stepped fully and completely into your Empress energy, that divine feminine power that is simultaneously grounded and ethereal, nurturing yet strong, intuitive yet wise, soft yet unbreakable. It is this evolved version of you that both inspires them to become better and intimidates them with its sheer magnificence. They once underestimated the true depth of your strength, perhaps even took your consistent love for granted, assuming it would always be available to them regardless of how they treated it. But now understanding has finally dawned. They recognize that your love was never ordinary or commonplace. It was a rare and precious gift, the kind that appears once in a lifetime, the kind that demanded recognition, respect, and reciprocation at the same level of consciousness from which it was offered. You have established clear boundaries, and in doing so, you have taught them one of life's most valuable lessons about how to truly value what matters most. You have shown them that loving someone does not mean accepting treatment that dishonors your worth, that keeping the peace sometimes requires difficult conversations, that staying in a connection that drains you is not noble but rather a betrayal of your own divine essence. The profound changes that have occurred within you have mirrored and catalyzed the changes occurring within them. While you were focusing intently on your own healing journey, engaging in your own inner work, and tending to your own spiritual garden, they were quietly transforming as well. The shift began slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, but now the metamorphosis within them is accelerating, picking up momentum like a river flowing toward the ocean. They are no longer content to remain trapped in old habits or stuck in patterns of emotional immaturity. They are actively confronting their deepest fears instead of running from them, facing their shadow self rather than projecting it onto others, and learning how to express the truth of their heart in ways they never possessed the courage or wisdom to do before. This transformation is not merely superficial or external. It runs deep, touching the very core of who they are and who they are becoming. They have begun to realize through this painful process that authentic love is not about possession, control, or ownership. It is about respect, genuine understanding, emotional honesty, and the willingness to be vulnerable. They have learned through your absence that truly loving you means growing alongside you as an equal partner, not attempting to hold you back, diminish you, or keep you small so they can feel more comfortable or secure. They feel your energy reverberating through their consciousness even when you are not speaking to them, even when silence stretches between you like an ocean. Your presence moves them in ways they cannot fully articulate or explain, stirring something ancient and knowing deep within their soul. Every silent moment between you has become a profound lesson, teaching them patience when they want to rush, humility when ego rises up, and the absolute importance of emotional truth when it would be easier to hide behind masks and pretense. They are dwelling in their feelings now more intensely than ever before, feeling everything with a rawness and vulnerability they had long protected themselves against. Your absence has paradoxically become their greatest awakening, the very thing that finally opened their eyes to what truly matters. Every memory of you that surfaces, Every trace of your energy that they encounter in unexpected moments, every reminder of what you shared together serves to show them what they lost and what they desperately hope to rebuild with greater consciousness and intentionality. They think constantly about the way you laughed, that genuine sound of joy that lit up any room you entered. They remember the way you carried yourself with such natural confidence and deep compassion, moving through the world with grace yet never losing your groundedness. They recall vividly how you believed in them even during moments when they could not find it within themselves to believe in their own potential, how you saw the best in them when they could only see their flaws and failures. That kind of love, that quality of seeing and accepting another person so completely, does not simply fade away with time or distance. Instead, it evolves, transforms, and deepens into something even more profound. And now, having done their inner work, having faced their demons, having grown beyond who they were, they finally feel ready to meet you at the level of love and consciousness you always deserved from the very beginning. They are prepared to show up differently, to love more authentically, to honor your worth in ways they failed to do before. The universe in its infinite wisdom is orchestrating the realignment of your paths, drawing you back toward one another, but this time the meeting will occur on much higher ground. The essential lessons have been learned through the crucible of separation. The deep wounds are in the process of healing, knitting themselves back together with golden threads of wisdom. The timing is shifting in your favor, moving like cosmic gears clicking into perfect alignment at precisely the right moment. Your silence was never truly an ending, though it may have felt like death at times. It was actually the sacred space, the fertile void that allowed profound transformation to take root in both of your souls. Now you both stand together on the precipice of a powerful new beginning, more aware than you have ever been, more open to receiving divine love, and more finely attuned to your soul's deepest purpose and calling. The love that exists between you has successfully endured fierce storms that would have destroyed lesser connections. It has survived distance that might have separated others permanently. It has withstood silence that could have bred resentment and bitterness. This endurance, this persistence, this refusal to completely die speaks of something far greater than ordinary human love. It speaks of something eternal, something written in the stars long before you took physical form, something that transcends the limitations of time and space. When they look back now with the clarity that only hindsight and growth can provide, they recognize that not giving you the time, attention, appreciation, and love you deserved was without question the biggest mistake of their entire life. This realization sits heavy within them, a profound weight that cannot be easily dismissed or forgotten. They carry a deep and aching sense of regret that has taken up residence in the very center of their being, a persistent awareness of how much they failed to honor your presence while they had the blessing of it. This overwhelming sense of remorse comes from finally knowing and truly understanding how much genuine care you offered them while they remained unable or unwilling to show you the same level of devotion in return. They regret deeply that they did not trust you enough, that they allowed their own insecurities and unhealed wounds to cloud and obscure what was actually pure and beautiful between you. You stood before them offering your heart so freely, holding nothing back, giving without conditions or demands, while they hesitated and held back, protecting themselves behind walls they had built long before you arrived. Now, in the quiet moments when they sit alone with nothing but their thoughts for company, they can feel echoes of your pain reverberating inside their own heart, as if a part of them has absorbed and carries the weight of everything they failed to say and everything they neglected to do when they had the chance. Whenever their mind returns to thoughts of you, which happens far more frequently than they could have imagined, they come face to face with how profoundly they misunderstood what love truly means in its highest expression. They are learning now that authentic love is not merely about being together during joyful times when everything feels easy and light. Real love is about showing up consistently even in the silence, even in moments of imperfection, even when it requires effort and conscious choice rather than just natural flow. You embodied this kind of love for them day after day. You demonstrated through your actions what it means to stand by someone even when they are emotionally distant, even when they do not seem to appreciate or even notice your presence, even when they absolutely do not deserve the grace and patience you continue to extend. They fully recognize that you have every right to hold complaints and grievances against them for how they treated something so precious. They cannot and will not blame you for any anger or resentment you may carry. But what continues to amaze them most, what they cannot quite comprehend, is that even now, after everything that has transpired, they can still feel that you love them. Perhaps that is precisely why their heart aches with such intensity and persistence. Because despite all the mistakes they made, despite the distance that now exists between you, despite the ways they failed to honor what you offered, there remains something undeniably real between you, something unspoken yet powerful that continues to connect your souls across any physical separation.